Hello and welcome to Chapter 3, Section 1, Graphing and Writing Inequalities. An inequality is a statement that two quantities are not equal. And you've seen them before, and we've graphed them on a number line before, but we're going to look at it through the eyes of integers and variables. Our first example, b is less than negative 1.5. First, we're going to find negative 1.5. We're going to realize that b does not equal negative 1.5. And if we make a dot, it says it's equal. We're going to make a circle, and that circle indicates that this is where it starts, but it does not include that. And b is smaller than this. So we're going to draw an arrow pointing in that direction, because b is all of the numbers that are less than negative 1.5 without including it. R is greater than or equal to 2. Here we can put a solid dot because it includes 2, it's equal to it, and it's greater than it. So our arrow is going to go in that direction. 3 plus x is smaller than 9. Here we have to actually solve for x. We're going to subtract 3 from both sides, and we're going to get x is smaller than 6. And this we can graph. We're going to find 6 on our number line, and it does not equal 6, so we're going to draw an open circle, and it is smaller than 6, so our arrow is going to go in this direction. X is less than 5. We're going to find 5 on our number line. We're going to draw an open circle, and x is less than 5, so our arrow is going to go in this direction. X is smaller than or equal to 1/2. So it is also equal to 1/2, so we can draw a closed circle, and x is smaller than it, so our arrow goes in this direction. We're working with these signs, greater than and less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and then this one, not equal, the equal sign with the slash through it. In words, which is one thing that this chapter asks you to do, when you see this equation, x is less than 6 are the words that you would write down. It does a whole set of examples about it, and it really is just write these words. The next thing they ask is, can you do it backwards? Can you see the number line and write the expression? So here we're given a number line with 4 different things that we're looking at. So the purple one has an open circle at the -1 and an arrow going smaller. So our x for the purple, x is going to be smaller than this, but not equal to -1. The green one has a closed circle at -3, and the arrow goes above it. So here x is greater than or equal to -3. Our blue one is a closed circle at 2, and it's going higher than the 2. So x is greater than or equal to 2. And then the black one is an open circle at 4.5, and x is greater than it. So x is greater than 4.5. 4.5 is less than x. It doesn't matter what order these come in. What matters is that the small end is at the x, or the big end is at the x. So flipping them doesn't matter. What matters is the meaning behind it. You have a word problem on page 172 that talks about the lightweight crew team can weigh no more than 165 pounds each. How do you put that into words? Well, I've chosen A for athlete, and they can be no more than, which means they have to be less than or equal to 165 pounds. This is how you would write that. And then it asks you to graph this. So we're going to find 165 on our graph, and it can be equal to that, so it can be a closed sign, and the athlete has to be less than that. So our arrow is going to go in the less than direction. Go ahead and do checkpoints numbers 1 through 4. Pause the video here and come back when you're done so we can go through the solutions. Checkpoint number 1 gives you the number sentence 2p is greater than 8, and I have written out 2 times p is greater than 8, and if you've done some semblance of that, it's fine. Question 2 asks you to graph each inequality. So we have c is greater than 25, and so we found 25. It doesn't equal 25, it's greater than it, so it's an open circle and the arrow goes to the larger numbers. 2b has 2 squared minus 4 is greater than or equal to w. So we've solved for 2 squared. We've done this math. 0 is greater than or equal to w. So we've done a closed dot at the 0, and the w is smaller than it. So our arrow goes in the smaller direction. M is smaller than or equal to -3. We found -3. It's an equal or a smaller, so it's a closed dot and it goes smaller. Question 3 gives us an inequality. It's an open circle at the 2.5, so there's no equal to. It's just smaller than, and x is smaller than because the arrow points in the smaller direction. If you wrote 2.5 is greater than x in that direction, that's fine, as long as the small end is on the side with the x. Question number 4, the store's employees earn at least $8.25 an hour, if not more. So it's either equal to or x is greater than 8.5. And when we're graphing that, we find 8.5, it's a closed circle, and the arrows get bigger. Your homework for tonight starts on page 173. You're doing numbers 18 through 45 plus number 55. Please let me know if you have any questions at all so we can take care of them in class. Thank you.